Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 52 of Your Take, My Take by John and Jacob. I'm John.
I'm Jacob.
And today we have a special guest, Dylan. He's holding the board. You know what time it is. It's March Madness time, 2023. And so we wanted to give you our predictions and our picks of the full board. And to help you guys have to close it up tomorrow and submit your picks on all formats. So make sure you get that. But like we always do, we're going to start off with a coin flip. Jacob, call in there.
Tails.
It's tails. Who do you want to go first?
I'll go first on the...
Okay.
We're going to go in the South region first.
So if Jacob and I agree, it's going to be the black Sharpie. If we disagree, then Jacob's pick is going to be the red one that's right next to it. So I think we're going to have a lot of similar picks, but I wanted to start off by saying this tournament's wide open. I think there are probably 12 to 14 teams that can realistically take it. So it's going to be a hard bracket, but let's go into it. Let's start in the South region first.
Yeah. All right, so the first one is Alabama, the number one, versus Texas A&M CC. This shouldn't be a hard game for Alabama. I'm going to go with Alabama.
All right, I have Bama too. I'm not going to go much further into that. I think they're very good. So go to the second 8-9 matchup. Those are always tough. It's a coin flip. Who do you have for that one?
The 8-9 matchup, I have West Virginia.
You have West Virginia.
Yeah.
Well, this is our first. This is our first. I actually have Maryland. This is a coin flip. Maryland and
these are hard games.
And West Virginia kind of different. Maryland can slow down teams, and Maryland has athletes, and they have two good players. Where I think that's going to be the difference. It's going to be a close game, but I have Maryland. Jacob has West Virginia. So let's just put Maryland here, and Jacob says this is Jacob's pick as.
Yeah.
All right, who's the next one, Jacob? San Diego State and Charleston.
So this is one of the hardest ones for me. I had Charleston, but I switched over to San Diego State. They're a very good defensive team, and I don't think that they'll lose to Charleston, but it is a one I'm worrying about. But I'm gonna go with San Diego State.
You know, this is a popular upset pick. Charleston's playing well. They have only 3 losses, I believe, all year. 31-3. But I don't think they play the caliber of defense and athletic ability that San Diego State plays. So I'm also going to go with San Diego State. This is a very popular
Upset
pick. Oh, Dylan, 8 and 9. Who do you have? West Virginia or Maryland?
West Virginia.
All right,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
All right. So next one, Virginia versus Furman.
This is another one that I'm kind of on the fence about, but I'm gonna pick Virginia. I know that they have some people that are injured, but I think that they can win the first round just because of how disciplined of basketball they play. They're usually pretty good every year, and I'm going to pick them to win this round.
I think they've been there before, and I think Virginia should win this one. All right. Creighton, North Carolina State.
I'm going to pick Creighton. I really like this team. They have a good big man. They have a good point guard. I think if you have any of those two on a team in the bracket, you can go far. Creighton is a sleeper team for me.
This was a tough one. I think NC State's playing well. The NC State plays really good individual ball, but man, this was a really really tough one for me. But I'm gonna go with Creighton. I think Creighton's got better guard play right now, and like I said, they have a dominant 7-footer on their team.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Baylor or Santa Barbara?
It's another team I really like. I'm going to go with Baylor just because of their guards. They have 3 really good freshman guards that just have been playing well.
I have Baylor also. All right, Missouri, Utah State.
This is a hard one for me too, but I think I'm going to go with Missouri.
Ooh.
I don't really know too much about how Utah State will do in this tournament. I know they're good, but I think that Missouri, because they do have some very good guard play, and I think that Missouri will win.
I think Utah State's going to win this one. I think Utah State is actually going to surprise a lot of people. I think Utah State is a disciplined team, and they play well together, and they have strong guard play. They don't turn over the ball very often. But Jacob picked Mizzou, so I'm going to pick. All right, going down to the next one, Arizona versus Princeton.
This one is kind of an easier one for me. I'm picking Arizona, just because they have a very good all-around team.
Yeah, I have University of Arizona too. All right, Oh, dang it. That was supposed to be black. We both agreed to that. All right. Going to the second round. Let's just go finish this bracket up first. All right. So I'm going to start with this second round. I have Bama winning this one over Maryland. I think Bama's going to handle that pretty easily. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that this one will be a tough one for Bama, but I still think they're going to win.
All right. All right. San Diego State versus Virginia. This one was tough, actually. I think they're both this is going to be a defensive battle. But I have Virginia. I just think Virginia's been there before. They have more experience. They have a very good coach. And so I think Virginia is going to beat San Diego State in a low-scoring game. Who do you have?
The thing is with Virginia is that they've kind of been in a slump recently. So there's going to be a tough one. I actually picked San Diego State.
Whoa, okay. Well, I have that, and Jacob and I disagreed on this one. Which is interesting because some people have San Diego State losing the first round. Jacob got them going at least to the Sweet 16. Who do you have?
I had San Diego State losing first round.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Wow.
So I think this is going to be a really interesting game. Creighton versus Baylor. I have Creighton winning this game. I think Baylor, they're one of the worst defensive teams in the Big 12.
Yeah.
Creighton has really good offensive players. And I think in the end, I think this is not the same Baylor team that was dominant 2 years ago or even last year. I think Creighton has better guard play in terms of discipline. When I watch Baylor, they have a lot of athletic guards, but they kind of take bad shots and they don't get back and they don't play defense. And I think Creighton's a much more disciplined team right now. And so I have Creighton winning this game.
Yeah, this one, I picked Creighton as well, just because defense wins championships, and when you're a team that likes to shoot the ball a lot and you live and die by the three, I don't know how far you can go against a very disciplined on both sides of the ball, and I think that Creighton can win this game.
All right. So Jacob has Missouri playing University of Arizona. I have Utah State playing Arizona. Who do you think is going to win this one?
I actually think this is going to be a very close game, but I think Arizona will win just because they have just better overall players. But I think that Missouri will fight in this game.
I think U of A is also going to win, but this is a very popular pick, Utah State going far, because I think Arizona isn't overly athletic. They have good big guys, and they have good shooting, but not overly athletic, and Utah State actually matches up pretty well with that type of team. But I still think University of Arizona is just better at their own game, at Utah State's own game. So I'll put U of A over here. All right. Going to the Sweet 16 in the South, Bama versus San Diego State. For you, who do you have?
I have Alabama winning this one.
Yeah, I have Bama beating. I think this game is easier than the Maryland game. But so we both have Bama winning that. So Creighton, U of A.
I'm going with Creighton on this one.
Whoa! That's the first big upset for Jacob. I don't think they're going to beat U of A. I think...
1 and 2 team. How original.
Team.
All right. So I have U of A. Jacob has Creighton. Who do you think, Dylan?
I think Creighton.
Wow.
Yes. Creighton is like I just really like Creighton's team.
Yeah, but they play very similar to U of A, but U of A has better big men. They have 2 big men that are going to be dominating Creighton's 1 big man, and their guard plays are very similar. I think Creighton's guards might be a little bit more athletic, but Arizona's got better wings. Arizona's got better big wings that can attack. And so that's why I think U of A will beat Creighton. I think it's going to be a very close game. I think this will be a very, very
Creighton's
good game.
1 big man is better than both of those guys, though.
No, but
he's the defensive center. He's like one of the best defensive centers.
But U of A has like 2 7-footers.
Yeah, that don't do anything besides get rebounds.
Yeah, they're big. All right. So, going back. So, you have Bama and Creighton or U of A. Who do you have?
I think this is going to be Alabama's hardest game just because of how versatile Creighton is. But I'm got to go with Alabama on this one just because Alabama has a true they have the best player in this whole bracket. There's no one else better than what's his name? Brandon
Miller.
Brandon Miller.
So, if Brandon Miller isn't in jail, he's going to be the best player in this tournament.
Oh, no.
And
I
so,
forgot about that.
But I'm hoping that he stays healthy. So I have Bama, stays out of jail.
Okay.
And so Bama's going to be there. So Bama is a first team in the Final Four. All right. Let's go to the East. You want to... Okay. All right. Going to the East. Purdue or Texas Southern, or is it Fairleigh Dickinson University? I don't know. It's going to be Purdue.
Yeah. I don't think we have to put too much thought.
All right. Memphis or Florida Atlantic?
I really like Florida Atlantic, but I just think Memphis plays such a physical game, and they give people problems, so I'm going with Memphis.
I think this is a coin flip again. Jacob has Memphis. I like Florida Atlantic. I think they run out. I think it's going to be an athletic game. Both of these teams are pretty athletic. I just think
Memphis also has more experience, I think.
I'm going to put FAU. What do you think, Dylan?
Memphis.
Wow, you only siding with Jacob?
Yeah, 3
Is that
for
what
3.
it is? Okay.
Dylan knows what's up, that's why.
Duke versus Oral Roberts.
Okay, this is either going to be like the best. This is going to be a hard game for Duke just because of how sneaky good Oral Roberts is. But I think that Duke is an underseeded team and that they've been playing very well, and I'm going with Duke.
Yeah, I agree. Duke is underrated in terms of their seeding, but I think Oral Roberts got a bad draw. I think Oral Roberts in any other bracket probably surprises people. They have a legitimate go-to scorer, and they have legitimate big guys who can play. It's just unfortunate they ran into a Duke team that's playing probably one of the best ball in the nation right now. So I have Duke winning that game, but I think this might be Duke's toughest game until later on in the tournament.
Yeah.
All right, Tennessee versus Louisiana.
I'm honestly not too confident in Tennessee, but I'm still going with them just because of how good defensively they are. And I'm going with Tennessee.
I have Tennessee. I'm not impressed with a lot of the SEC teams besides maybe Alabama. Tennessee, they have an injury. They have a few players injured. I just don't know much about Louisiana. I'm just assuming they're not very good, even though their record suggests they are. But Tennessee is much better, and they should win just based on pure talent in their size. So I have Tennessee also winning this. Mm-hmm. All right, Kentucky versus Providence.
This is a revenge game for Providence's best player, but I still think Kentucky's going to win just because they have a better big man. Their guy is he averages the most rebounds in whole college basketball, and I just think that they have enough guards that they can beat Providence. So I'm going with Kentucky.
Kentucky has probably some of the most talent on their team, but they shouldn't be 21-11. I actually have Providence winning this game because I think something is just not right with Kentucky. And if things don't get righted in the NCAA tournament, they get exposed. And so I have Providence winning this one. I like Providence. I like Ed Cooley, and I like their Hopkins.
Bryce Hopkins?
Yeah, who is coming back. But Jacob has obviously Kentucky.
Yeah, this still is going to be a hard game for both teams. I think it's going to be a good game.
All right. So Kent State versus Montana State.
I'm going with Kansas State on this one. I just think they're very athletic, and they're going to give teams problems with their size.
And they have a legitimate go-to scorer. Who do you have, Kentucky or Providence?
Providence.
All right, see? All right, my main team, Michigan State versus USC. That a lot of people have USC kind of sneaking in, but who do you have?
I have Michigan State.
All right, I got to go with my boys, Michigan State. I think it's going to be a close game. Michigan State can beat anybody if their shots are falling from the outside. Yes, they have legitimate 3 good guards that can play. If Malik Hall is fully healthy and can play like he can, I think they're a tough team. Marquette, Vermont.
Marquette is the hottest team in basketball right now, and I'm going with them. They have the best guards, I think, in the country too.
I just don't know much about Marquette. Everyone says they ran through the Big East. I just don't know. I just don't know. They went hot. They got hot all of a sudden, but the 28-6, I just don't know. All right, but I have them beating Vermont. All right, Purdue versus Memphis or FAU.
This could be an upset because I do think Memphis is going to give Purdue a lot of trouble, but I still think Purdue is going to win just because I think they have better overall players. But I wouldn't be surprised if Memphis wins. But I'm going Purdue.
Purdue has a dominant big man and they have perimeter shooting. Right now, those perimeter shooters aren't playing very well. They're freshmen or sophomores, and so sometimes I think that kind of gets them nervous. But in the end, I think Purdue's just better than both those teams. All right, Duke versus Tennessee.
I'm going with Duke. I just think that they're playing very well right now.
I have Duke winning too. All right, Kentucky, Kansas State, or Providence?
I'm going with Kansas State. Even though I do like Kentucky right here, there's so many like problems I have with picking them to win 2 games because they are on upset alert in round 1. So I have to go with Kansas State.
I'm going with Providence as one of my teams who sneaks in.
Dang.
Over Kansas State. I don't love Kansas State. I think they're too inconsistent. Their offense is too heavily reliant on one of their guards and their big men. I just think Providence is more balanced, and they also have a standout scorer in themselves who can be a go-to scorer. All right, next big game: Michigan State versus Marquette.
I'm going with Marquette.
This is a tough one. Like I said, I think Michigan State can beat anybody in this tournament, but I don't.
Pick 'em.
This is probably.
All
right. I'm gonna pick Michigan State.
Good for you.
I'm gonna pick Michigan State, and Jacob picks Marquette. Who do you have, Dylan?
Michigan State.
All right. Like I said, Michigan State has the talent and the coaching and the experience to go, but it could be my bias. But
It is.
We'll see. All right. Who do you have? Purdue or Duke?
I'm actually going with Duke on this one.
Ooh,
just
it's
because
an upset.
Yeah. Well, they played earlier this year. Purdue won by 2, but I just think that Duke like matches up very well against a Purdue team. 2 7-footers that can control their big man, and I think that they have enough good athletic guards that they can also control their shooters. It's gonna be a tough game for Duke, but I think that they could win.
This is a tough one for me too, but I think Purdue is reliant on Zach Edey. And I think Duke has like 3 7-footers too on their team. And so they can throw enough bodies to slow him down. And I think eventually the athletic players on Duke is going to wear down Purdue. So I have Duke upsetting Purdue, who will be the first seed out. All right. So who do you have, Kansas State or Marquette for you?
I have Marquette going.
So Jacob has Marquette.
I just think that their guards are going to lead them to because they have the best guards right now in the country.
All right. So I have Michigan State versus Providence. This actually lines up well for Michigan State. I think Michigan State can beat Providence. And so I have Michigan State over here.
This is crazy.
So Michigan State versus Duke in the Elite 8. Who do you have? Oh, no. I'm sorry. You have Duke versus Marquette.
I don't think it matters which team Duke plays here, but I'm going with Duke on this one.
So, dang it. I hate to say it, but I think Duke's going to end Michigan State's magical run. I just don't think they have enough size to compete with Duke. That's my only fear. I think the guards that Michigan State has can compete with any guards in the country. The problem is Duke has a lot of size, and Michigan State struggles with teams that have a lot of size. This is not the same Michigan State team that rebounds everyone just over everyone. This is not them. They're not that tough. But that's why I have Duke winning this one. All right. Good. So let's go to the Midwest. Houston versus Northern Kentucky. I think this one's easy.
All right. I'm going with Houston as well.
All right. Then you have Iowa versus Auburn.
Who are you going? Is it me or you?
It's you.
Oh, I picked Iowa.
All right. This is a coin flip for me. I think Iowa's got better scores, and I do like Chris Murray, Keegan's twin brother. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Miami versus Drake.
So Miami has a few injuries on key players, and I'm going with Drake on this one.
I think this is another upset. I think there's always a 12 seed that does an upset. I think I have a 12 seed.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't. This is my first 12 seed. Charleston's a popular pick, but I think Drake is the most popular pick to beat Miami's. One of their Miami's forwards one of their players are hurt.
Yeah.
But I think Drake's better than them anyways. All right. Indiana, Kent State is another popular upset pick. A lot of people like Kent State. Who do you have?
I really like Kent State. they didn't beat Houston or Gonzaga, but they did hang around them, and I think that they could against Indiana, who is a little injured. But I'm going to go with Indiana just because they have a true superstar on their team as well.
They have a true superstar in Indiana is actually playing well. So I have University of Indiana too. Mm-hmm. All right, Iowa State versus Pitt. This is a tough game.
This is another popular upset pick, but I'm going with Iowa State.
Me too. I think Pitt's tough. I mean, I give Coach Cable a lot of credit for turning Pitt. Pitt was a terrible program ever since they lost Jamie Dixon. And so the fact that Pitt is relevant again gives them a lot of credit. But Pitt has what they do is they rely on the three. So anytime you rely on the three, you can beat anyone. And they shoot the three ball as well as anyone in the country. The problem is Iowa State's going to go after them. And I think Iowa State's a more balanced team. But I think it's going to be a close game. That could be easily an upset. Mm-hmm. All right, Xavier versus Kennesaw State.
I was big on Xavier. I'm picking them to win first round, but I was big on them, but they do have a few injuries that I'm a little worried about.
Jacob loves the Big East for some reason, but I have Xavier beating Kennesaw State. I think Xavier's better right now, even with some injuries. Texas A&M or Penn State?
I do like Penn State. They are playing very well right now, but I think I got to go with Texas A&M. They have too much size and physicality. But this is probably gonna be one of the best first round games, just because their strengths align with each other. Because they don't turn the ball over, but they play very good defense. I think it's gonna be a very interesting game.
Just like Duke, I think is underseeded. I think Texas A&M is underseeded. Texas A&M went all the way to they went to the SEC finals, and lost to Alabama, but. I think Texas A&M is going to win this game. I just don't trust Penn State. I've never liked Penn State. They're from the Big Ten. I seem to watch them a lot. I just don't like them, and I don't think they have it. I don't think they've ever had it to have the experience to pull off big games. So I have it, Texas A&M. All right, Texas and Colgate.
Colgate does scare me a little bit, but I think that Texas is playing very well right now. So I'm going with Texas.
So Colgate's always kind of made themselves relevant since Don Foyle. But Texas is really good.
Yeah.
And I think Texas just has too many athletes for that small school. All right, Houston, Iowa. Whoa, we're the same in this bracket.
I know, that's crazy.
All right, Houston, Iowa.
I'm going with Houston on this one.
Me too.
But this is a big if. If their point guard is out, I might change my bracket a little bit, just because if they're isn't it Marcus
Sasser, yeah.
Sasser. If he's out, then I might have them lose.
That's a good point. If that guy's not fully healthy, then the brackets change a lot. But if that guy's at least 80 to 85% healthy,
and they could win the whole thing.
Houston's legit to win the whole thing. I mean that really is the breaking point for them, is that their point guard is that good. I think he won the American Conference Player of the Year, and he's that good. And so I have Houston. They say he's healthy, and he's playing, and so I have Houston winning that game too. All right, Drake versus Indiana.
This is gonna be my upset, but I'm going with Drake
on this one.
I like Drake a lot.
This is gonna be tough too. I have Drake winning this game. I like Indiana. But I think there's always a 12 seed that makes a sneaky play, and I think Drake is going to be is well balanced. I think Drake is going to win this game. All right, Iowa State or Xavier?
Ooh, this one's one of the toughest ones for me. Going with Iowa State on this one though.
I have Iowa State. I would put Xavier if they were fully healthy.
They're good. Healthy.
But I think Iowa State has shown that they can play with anyone. They beat Baylor. They've always been in close games with like Kansas State and all those other teams in the Big 12. I think they're battle tested, and I think that's why I have them a slight edge over Xavier. Xavier fully healthy beats them, but they're not fully healthy. All right, this is an interesting game. Texas A&M versus Texas. Talk about rivals that are in different conferences now, but now they're going to be playing in this tournament.
Hardest game for Texas.
Who are you going to have here?
This is the problem. I'm going with Texas, but Texas A&M could win. Has a very high possibility of winning. But I'm going with Texas just because I think they're better overall.
Texas seems to have a lot of talent. I'll give them that. They always seem to have a lot of talent.
A&M?
But I'm going with Texas A&M. Like I said, I think Texas A&M is seated low, and I think it's funny that the bracket people said, "Oh, let's put these two teams that hate each other in there." And I think Texas A&M has a little bit more. They got snubbed last year, and I think they're coming out with a vengeance. So I have
Texas.
I had Texas A&M winning this one.
Well, that's the only one we've disagreed on. So,
But Jacob has Texas.
what does Dylan think?
Dylan, what do you think?
Texas A&M.
All right.
Okay.
I don't love Texas. Every time I see them play, they lose. I mean, they have a good record, but every time I watch them play, they lose. And so...
They just blew out Kansas by 20 points.
Yeah, I'm just saying I didn't watch that game, obviously. But, all right. Houston versus Drake. I think this game is going to be tough.
This game's very tough, but I'm going to Houston.
All right. I have Houston winning, too. I really like this Houston team. I think they play with a lot of effort. They play very good defense, and they attack the glass. And I think in the tournament, not all the shots are going to be fall in. So the teams that get extra possessions make a huge difference, and Houston definitely is in that boat. All right, Iowa State versus Texas.
This is my only 1-2 matchup that I'll have, but I'm going with Texas.
All right, I actually have Texas A&M, obviously beating them.
Yeah, I'm going far.
I have Texas A&M going pretty far. I like A&M. I like their defense. I like their depth, and I like their overall play.
They have one of the hardest roads to get there, though. Does that worry you a little bit?
It does. It does. I mean, that Penn State game is not a cakewalk either, but I think they have a lot going for them against Texas. I think the fact that they think that they're like little brother to Texas is gonna be a motivator. All right, Houston. This is interesting here. Houston versus Texas. Or Texas A&M. They're both Texas states. I don't know why the bracket people, the committee does this, but that's a good matchup. Either team is a good matchup. Who do you have?
I'm just hoping that their point guard is healthy, because if it's not, then definitely Texas could win. But I'm going to Houston.
All right. Like I said, I can't say enough positive things about Houston. Houston is 31-3. I think
They're good.
Two of the losses was once in the conference finals when their point guard was hurt, and the other one against Alabama. And so I have Houston over here. All right. So that's my other team. The Houston comes out of the Midwest. All right, let's go down to the West.
Which we've agreed on all of them.
Pretty much the Final Four is the same. All right, it is the same.
I don't think we're going to be on this one.
All right, this one's difficult.
This one's probably the hardest one for me.
All right, let's go with Kansas or Howard. This is Kansas?
Yes.
All right.
Are we going to be different on this 8-9 one?
8-9, I think it's always a coin flip. I think these teams are very similar, Arkansas and Illinois. I like Illinois better because I like Michael Mayer and I like...
Yeah, Michael Mayer.
And they have Terrence... what's his name? And so they have better... In my opinion, they have better go-to scorers. But Arkansas is always athletic and they have a lot of talent. But I still have Illinois winning because I think Illinois is better right now. Who do you have?
Let me just tell you, Arkansas had one of the best freshman class, or one of the best recruiting classes in a while. And I think that they've been having injury problems. But now that they have some of their players back, even though they're very inconsistent, this will be a defensive battle. I'm going with Arkansas.
Oh, I like Illinois. Jacob likes Arkansas.
What does Dylan think?
Who do you think, Dylan?
Illinois.
Yeah. All right. So this is another 5-12 matchup. Like I said, there's always a 5-12 matchup that surprises people. St. Mary's or VCU? Who do you have?
VCU, just because they play one of the best defenses. And I watched St. Mary's play BYU, and BYU had a press, and they almost came back to win, and they were down like 30 points. So if they play a good athletic team that's very good on defense like VCU that will press them, VCU is going to win this game.
VCU is going to press them, and they're going to press them the whole game. And so it could be a runaway blowout win for St. Mary, or it could be a runaround blowout for I don't think it's going to be a close game. I think VCU is just going to be too athletic. I like St. Mary's, actually. But when I saw them play and how they got absolutely destroyed by Gonzaga, and they had almost should have lost to BYU because BYU put a 2-man press on them. I mean, that was ridiculous. And so the 2 games that I saw recently, I was not impressed with St. Mary's.
They're going down.
And so I have VCU winning this one too. UConn or Iona?
UConn.
This is an interesting
My
matchup
favorite
because
team.
I like Rick Pitino. I think he's one of the best coaches in this whole bracket, and he makes his team relevant. But UConn's way too good. I think UConn is. I think at the 4 seed, I think they're underseeded too. I think they're that good. All right, TCU, and I hope it's Arizona State. But I don't know. Who think is gonna win?
I think that TCU is also underseeded. They have a very good overall team. They have a very good defense. I hate to do it. I think that ASU will give them more of a problem. But if Nevada wins that game, then I'm definitely picking TCU. But I'm still gonna pick TCU.
This is tough because, like I said, we don't have the play-in game, and the matchups do matter and the style of play. Arizona State and TCU are very similar. They're both very good, grinded out defensive teams. I just think Jamie Dixon and the TCU Horned Frogs are just a little bit better at that game right now. So I hope Arizona State wins. I hope they win the play-in game, and I hope they beat TCU. But I just think TCU is better right now. All right. The Zags or Grand Canyon. It's funny because imagine if Arizona State wins and
they
somehow
play
Grand Canyon does a surprise. That'd be great. It's an all-Arizona team.
Yeah, that'd
but
be awesome.
Let's be honest. They're both heavy underdogs in both those scenarios. But who do you have, the Zags or do you have Grand Canyon?
I think Gonzaga is very underseeded on this one too. They're 28-5. I think that they're gonna surprise some teams, so I'm going with Gonzaga.
The Zags?
Yes.
I have Zags. Grand Canyon's a good story, but they're just not good enough. They just don't have the talent. Zags have the talent, and they have the coaching, and they have the experience. And so I think the Zags are going to win that pretty easily. Northwestern or Boise State, but I would like to see the Grand Canyon Arizona State matchup. I just don't think it's going to happen. That would really blow up everyone's bracket if that happened. But Northwestern or Boise State?
I'm going with Northwestern on this one.
Me too. I think this is going to surprise people. I think a lot of people have Boise State winning this, but I think Northwestern is more well-rounded.
Yeah, they're very good defensively too.
All right, UCLA or let's just say UCLA. All right, Kansas versus Illinois or Arkansas. Who do you have?
I think that this game's going to actually be very, very tough for Kansas. Kansas has one of their best defensive players out right now. Well, he's out, but he's coming back. But we don't know how hurt
Talk to the camera.
how hurt he is. But I'm going with Kansas.
All right, so I have Kansas winning this one too. I think this is a tough matchup either one for Kansas. I don't love Kansas this year. They don't have the same level of athletic ability they had the previous year. But Kansas is still better. Mm-hmm. All right, VCU UConn. This is going to be a track meet, I think.
Yeah, UConn is like my favorite team in the bracket, especially on the west side right now, just for how big they are. How they've been playing very well. They have a big man that's pretty good. I just think that they're gonna win.
UConn is very well balanced, and I do like their point guard, who's a bigger point guard. They're very talented, I think, and it's nice to see UConn come back to relevancy. They when I was growing up, they were always a threat, but right now I still think UConn's gonna win this game. But I think it's gonna be a good fun. This should be a fun game to watch.
Yeah.
TCU or the Zags?
I think that Gonzaga is gonna win.
I think this is going to be a lot closer than people think. I think the Zags are going to... when the Zags struggle is when they play against a defensive-minded guard play team, and that's what TCU is. Do you remember when Gonzaga got blown out by Baylor because Baylor had all those athletic guards? TCU is not at that level, but they kind of play like that. But I think the Zags are going to win this game too, though. Only reason why I don't want them to win is I'm sick of seeing Drew Timme. This is his 12th year in the league in the tournament. I don't know how that guy's a super senior.
He's got to win one.
He's been playing forever. All right, Northwestern or UCLA?
This really worries me because I really think Northwestern could win this or could beat UCLA just because UCLA has 2 starters out. But I still think UCLA has a much better team in general, so I'm going to go with UCLA.
I have UCLA winning this game too. I think UCLA has a lot of experience, and those guys have been around forever too. I mean, Tiger Campbell and Jaime Yuck, that guy's been around forever too. The problem with them is they have their big men hurt. I've heard that one of their big men's coming back. If he comes back, it makes a big difference because they're a very good, well-rounded team also. So I have UCLA winning this game. Mm-hmm. If their big man comes back, which rumor is that he is coming back, it makes a big difference for them, especially further against someone like the Zags, where they need a big man to guard the Zags' 2 big men. So who knows? Kansas, UConn.
I'm going with UConn.
All right. So am I.
Wow. He's looking at my bracket.
I like UConn a lot, actually. But I don't think Kansas is as good at this year as they were last year. Like I said, last year they had 2 really athletic guards that could shoot. This year, I don't think they're at the same level athletically. And I don't love their point guard. Their point guard, Harris, he's a game manager, but he's not a difference maker. And so I think UConn has a point guard that's going to be able to dominate and basically control that game. All right, Zags UCLA. This is another matchup. The committee loves to have repeat games. So who do you think, Zags or UCLA?
When I see both these teams, they look very identical. I'm going to go with on who is more healthy, and I'm going with Gonzaga.
Oh, see, I'm going with UCLA. I think UCLA is a better team, and I think UCLA has shown that they're a better team. So, I mean, it's pretty comparable records, 29-5, and Gonzaga's 28-5, and both played in not so good, leagues. The Pac-12. It's sad to say the Pac-12 is just as bad as the WAC.
Yeah.
So, but I have UCLA winning this one.
Wow.
So Jacob has the Zags. Who do you have, Dylan?
The Zags.
Oh,
yes, the
geez.
Zags.
All right. So our last team going to the Final Four, UConn. You have playing the Zags. I have UConn playing UCLA. Who do you have?
I got UConn winning this game.
Wow. So do I. I actually like UConn. I think they are. I like UConn better than I like Marquette. But again, I like UConn.
I like UConn more than MSU.
I think if MSU played UConn, UConn would probably win.
Yeah, UConn would definitely win.
I'm telling you right now, Michigan State shouldn't be slept on. I mean, that team, they have shown the ability to play with anyone in the country, but they also shown the ability to lose to anyone. They lost to Notre Dame by 30. I don't know how that came out, but
they're very inconsistent.
Yeah, but if they're 3 guards and Malik
rely
Hall
on
are
an
playing,
inconsistent team.
Yeah, but Izzo is the difference maker. He knows how to get teams ready for the tournament.
We'll see.
All right. So let's go to this side right here. Bama versus Duke. Who do you have?
I'm very worried about Alabama playing Duke, just because of I don't know who on Alabama is going to stop their 2 big men. But
Alabama's 10 deep though.
Yeah.
And they do have athletes on all position. I just don't know I don't know anybody on Duke's team that can stop Brandon Miller.
It kills me, but I'm picking Alabama. I still think that they're going to beat Duke just because they have the better superstar.
I have Bama beating Duke. I think in these type of games, you need to go to superstar. I think Duke is still trying to find that. They try. I don't think they have it yet. Alabama clearly has one. Like I said, if he isn't in jail,
he won't be in jail. Hopefully,
if he goes to jail, then this whole bracket is blown.
We're doing a part 2.
If he's playing, he's going to lead them to the finals, in my opinion. All right, Houston and UConn. Who do you have?
This is the toughest game for me. I think that Houston is going to work for every game just to get to the Final Four. And I'm going to go with UConn.
Whoa. All right. I think Houston's going to win. It's going to be basically a home game. I think these teams are very comparable. They're very well balanced. They're both athletic. But I think Houston is going to have a little bit more advantage because it's at home. It's essentially a home game for them. And I think they have a lot riding on it. So I have Houston. Jacob's man crush on UConn is over here.
Well, you do have 2 number 1 seeds.
Yeah, but I don't think a lot of people have these 2 number 1 seeds going. All right.
Who do you have, Dylan?
Who do you have, UConn or Houston?
Houston.
Yeah. I think Houston's a better team. And I think their ability to control the glass and their ability to play defense, and they have legitimate, again, it's the health of their point guard. If Sasser is healthy, he's a difference maker. So, okay, Jacob has number 1 Alabama playing against number 4 seed UConn.
Yes.
I have number 1 Alabama playing number 1 seed Houston. Who do you have winning it all?
I have UConn. No, I'm just joking. I have Alabama winning. I think that UConn can get it done, but just at the end of the day, Alabama will win this.
So this is a tough one. Bama and Houston have already played. And I think Bama won by a few points. And it was early in the season and kind of jumped Alabama up to relevancy. Alabama also beat Michigan State, but that was actually a pretty close game too. I just don't think Alabama is going to win it. I think Houston's going to look at it as a revenge game. They're at home. I like the fact that they are playing at home. And so I have Houston winning it all. Jacob has Bama. So what's your tiebreaker? Points.
I think I put 141.
141?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be lower scoring than that. I have 136. So that's our tiebreaker. That's Jacob's 141, 136. Obviously, you can see we have a lot of similar picks. There isn't that much difference.
This whole side is a lot better.
But this, I mean, my bias for MSU
It's gonna hurt
is
you.
probably can't hurt me, but it also hurts me not to go for them. And so I'll be honest, Marquette's probably a better team than MSU. So if you're watching this and you're saying, hey, what's going on? I think Marquette's better, but I can't go against Michigan State that early, so I have Michigan State. But at the end of the day, I think we're both looking at athletic teams that are going that far. Jacob has Alabama, I have Houston. And so I think this is a wide open bracket for everyone. Mm-hmm. But again, this March Madness is the best time. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed episode 52 of Your Take, My Take. Who do you have winning it all, Dylan?
Houston.
All right. Oh, see? Dylan picked with me. So I hope you guys enjoyed episode 52 of Your Take, My Take. I'm John.
I'm Jacob.
This is Dylan. And we'll see you guys later.